y'all don't want me to just stand up here and ramble for 20 minutes. So good morning, everybody. All right, as Dave mentioned, many of you used to see me doing this a lot. So everybody thinks that naturally there's no problem getting up here and talking. But there's still nerves when you do public speaking. And tell a little joke to kind of break the ice. Jerry Seinfeld tells a joke about the average American. If you did a poll, the average American says their biggest fear is public speaking. All right, that's number one. Number two is death. Number two. So what that means is, to the average American, if you have to be at a funeral, you'd rather be in the casket than you doing the eulogy. Okay? So we all have the issue with the public speaking. So, all right, why am I up here? Well, I'm the financial peace leader here at St. Monica's. I got a couple of my students in the back there, and I think a couple more floating around. My wife and I adopted the program about 4 years ago, and since then we have paid off $65,000 in debt by going through the Dave Ramsey principles and things like that. So we're going to talk this. Well, oh, wow. Good night, everybody. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about today is kind of, how do we get to this point? What were some of the steps that we took? What are some of the first steps that y'all can take to kind of get the ball rolling for you? And how important it is to work together when it comes to doing the finances and doing the financial piece. So let's define financial peace. There's two words that really don't go together. Right, financial and peace. And it really hit me. Father Tron was doing a homily a couple years ago, and I didn't hear it 100% because, you've got the kids and everything. But what I heard was he was talking about peace. He was talking about a writing and kind of defining what peace is. The opposite of peace, I think that we kind of think the opposite of peace is war. I think that's the natural thing, but that's not really the opposite of peace. The opposite of peace is disorder. It's chaos. When I heard him say that, it hit me. That's what financial peace is. Financial peace is kind of getting out of that disorder, kind of getting out of that just running, the money comes in, you pay everything you can, you just hit anything that moves. That's kind of where we were, and that's where a lot of people are. And it's kind of what the typical American family kind of looks like as far as it comes to debt. And I got a little video to show you. You might remember this commercial.
I'm Stanley Johnson. I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house in a great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs.
Validate your debt.
Okay, there you go. America. So let's talk about money, okay? I think we've all heard speakers talk about money won't get you happiness, okay? You can't chase happiness by buying stuff, okay? You never can seem to get enough of the stuff that you don't need. You can't buy happiness. But money is a tool. The thing to remember about money is that, and Monsignor Churchwell talked about this the first week, money itself isn't evil, okay? Money isn't evil. It's oh my goodness, all right. Money itself isn't evil. It's thank you, the love of money, okay? And there's a lot of emotion around money. There's a lot of jealousy that happens in families when people pass and there's wills and there's just money. There's a lot of fighting around money and it gets very emotional. We've got to remember that money is a tool. It's an actual tangible object. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have morals. It's a tool, okay? It's kind of like a brick, okay? A brick is just a brick. You can pick it up and you can throw it through a window, or you can take it and you can use it to build a hospital. It's a brick. What you do with it determines whether or not it's evil or whether or not it's good. So what we have to remember is that our money is for retirement. It's for our kids' college. It's for our houses. It's for our church. It's for the people within the church. It's to help those in need. People pass, we help out their families. People are down and out, we help them out with food. It's about that kind of stuff. That's the kind of freedom that we need. That's the kind of freedom that we want from our money. And we shouldn't have to work as hard as we do to pay the bank all of our money. And that's kind of where we end up as Americans. We pay our money, but that's our money. So we need to set ourselves up to put ourselves in a better spot to really harness our money. So let's talk about our family's journey. Oh, what a cute picture. Some cute kids up there look just like their mom. All right, so let's talk about how did we get to this point? What was kind of the big moment for us? Back in the fall of 2010, this is about 4.5 years ago, my wife had just picked up a second part-time job doing physical therapy. I was at the TV station, as you know, and things were actually going great. We were in a better spot than we had been in our entire marriage money-wise. We didn't really have a plan, but we were actually starting to pay some things off. Things were going great. That was a fall. By December, just 2 weeks before Christmas, my wife on the same day lost both of her jobs. On the same day, 2 weeks before Christmas, thank you very much. It was fine because, you know what? She got a job and everything worked out. But what happened was all the work that we had done went backwards. We fell back in the hole even further than we were. So by the time we got to February, we had this group that we met with. We met every Sunday. We talked about things like marriage. We talked about things like personality traits. A different thing every week. And we were kind of meeting. We're saying, what are we going to talk about? And I came up and I said, man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of not getting anywhere and being on the rat wheel and just running. Okay? And everybody said, oh, I'm kind of there too. I didn't realize. And oh yeah, I'm there too. I didn't realize it. Yeah, we're all there. Okay? We're all there. Tired of paying bills and have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. So we decided we were going to read The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, which is basically the financial peace program in a book. So what happened was we started reading this, and I've heard Dave Ramsey before, but I wasn't listening. Okay, I heard him talk, guy from Tennessee with the twang and everything, but I wasn't listening. Then something struck me in the book. I said something struck me in the book. We got to a point where we started talking about money and talking about the cost of money. And this is a stat that changed our lives forever. And I've adjusted this because this was a couple years ago, but the average car payment in America is $487 for 66 months. 5.5 years, $487. That's the average car payment in America. If you took that money, okay, said if you took that money, hit the button, and invested it, the lifetime of the stock market is a 12% return. So for 40 years, that money every month for 12%, 40 years, 25 to 65, instead of putting it into a car, it's a lot of numbers. 5,786,737. Don't forget the 96 cents. He had my undivided attention at that point. That's the opportunity cost of the car payment. And that's when the light bulb came on for us, and I realized we have to do something. We have to do something now. Actually, after 40 years. We'll leave that up there for just a second. So what happened was, how do we do it? Well, we had a big mountain of debt. And as Dave Ramsey likes to say, you're going to hear me say that a lot. As Dave Ramsey likes to say, if you've got an elephant, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Very good. You've heard that too. You're listening. If I was just listening, I wouldn't be up here. But bit by bit, piece by piece, little debt by little debt, putting a little bit into savings, and one thing after the other, snowballing, making sacrifices, things like that. Less eating out, less stuff, paying off debts one by one, learning and practicing sacrifice. Sometimes you have to say no. I left the TV station back in June, and in August, I didn't have a job, and we were watching every penny that left, and we had the opportunity to go down to the beach in Florida, stay at uncle's condo in Florida for free. For free. All we had to do was pay gas. We had to say no because I didn't have money to pay the gas because we were, in that position, which was fine. We didn't have the money. We had to hunker down. We had to get ready, but it's that sacrifice. And it was a great teaching moment for our kids to say, if we don't have the money, you have to make sacrifices. We're not going to have to make those sacrifices in 5 years when we're on the other end of this, but for now we had to say no. So it's about sacrifice, and sometimes you have to say no. Hit the button. So where are we now? As I mentioned, we paid off $65,000 in debt. My wife works a lot less, so she's home with the kids more during the week, and a lot more freedom. I could leave the job that I was at for a better job now, with a lot better hours, with a wonderful boss, Tom Melcher over there, piled up money and savings, coming out of the job because we knew we were leaving, but We piled up some money. We made it through that kind of dry period, got down to, we had $16 in our savings account at the very bottom. We had $16. You can't take $16 out of the window. You can only take 20 out. You can't even take that money out. But you know what? When we got to that point, I was already in a job. We were coming back up. And because we had done the steps to pay things off, get ourselves in a better spot, save the money, we quickly put the money back into savings, and we're just rocking and rolling again right now. So, how do we get there? Let's talk about, first off, the big secret. This is the one that I want you to write down. With a pen and paper, chisel, tablet, whatever you got to do, this is the one I want you to remember. This is the big secret. This is the moment. The big secret about debt: spend less than you make. Seems pretty logical, right? Spend less than you make. Then what's up with America? Last year, at the end of 2014, America, the whole, $882 billion in credit card debt, $1.13 trillion in student loan debt. That's $2 trillion in America. We've got to get better about not borrowing. We got to get better about spending what we have. That's the only way to get out of the hole. You can't get out of the hole that you're in if you keep digging out the bottom of the hole. You know, we're not Congress, okay? We can't do that. The only way to get out of the hole is those baby steps to get out of it. You can't dig yourself out of a hole. So the other important thing that my wife and I do every month, and people that win with money do every month, is the budget. We come up with a budget. I'm not going to get into the how-tos. We don't have that kind of time. If you have questions, if you ever have any questions about this stuff, please ask me. You can ask me today, after Mass, before Mass, whenever you want. This is kind of my ministry. So anytime you have questions, ask me. But the budget is important. It is not a straitjacket. It is not there to keep you feeling terrible. It is there to tell your money what to do. Because if you have money that comes in and you don't give it a job, it's going to leave. Okay? So we got to give every dollar bill a job. The budget is extremely important. And what goes hand in hand with it, if you are married, please work with your spouse. Work with your spouse. Y'all are a team, okay? The two become one, okay? Now when the two become one, it is not husband, wife, okay? Y'all aren't over here on different sides, okay? Husband and wife. The two become one. Y'all are a team. Y'all got to work it out together. My wife and I, we have our budget meeting, not as often as we probably should, but we do refer to the budget. We talk about things. We have similar goals. You have to work together. And Dave Ramsey tells this great analogy. These plow horses in Belgium. Okay, these Belgian plow horses are notorious for being really strong and doing amazing work out in the fields. One of these plow horses by itself can pull 8,000 pounds. Okay, one horse by itself, 8,000 pounds. If you got two horses together, strapped them both into the load and had them pull, they can't pull just 16. They can pull 24,000. Two horses together can pull 3 times what one can. If you were to train those two horses to pull together in unison, work together, haul together, do everything in unison, they can pull 32,000 pounds. So one does 8, two trained does 32, 4 times as much. It's extremely important to work together. That's what we're called to do. And it helps to look at the budget with 2 sets of eyes, because when I'm looking at it, I see, I got to pay this off, I got to pay this off, big chunks, and my wife's looking at it saying, can we get $10 here, $10 here, $10 here, $10 here? And all of a sudden, she's got $100, like, hey, you need $100 over here to pay something? It's like, yeah, I need $100. And it's working together. And the great thing about it is, Dave Ramsey talks about it, and I've seen it in the class. He talks about families and marriages and people who are married. They struggle. They struggle communicating, and they sometimes have to go, to counseling and talk to people. And I mean, things are just falling apart. You get into this class, this financial piece, or you get into a system where you're actually talking about money. The people come back and tell Dave, hey, and I heard it too, we're communicating. It's weird. I mean, we're talking about money, but we're communicating. It brings the two of you together to really focus on a common goal. So working together, I can't stress enough how important it is. And if you're not married, get an accountability partner. Uh-oh, it's starting to man. Get an accountability partner. No, get back there. Then get an accountability partner. Okay. If you're by yourself, get an accountability partner. In our financial peace class, we always have either a single person, a divorced person, a widowed person, and they usually gravitate to the other single folks, and everybody has an accountability partner. But the important thing to remember is that everybody has money issues, they're working through money issues, or they have worked through money issues. Everybody's got something to learn from somebody else, okay? Get an accountability partner, somebody to bounce off. Get that fear that you have out in the open. Talk about, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Get it out there. Somebody will be there to help you, and you'll be there to help them. And Monsignor talked about a couple weeks ago the kids and how to train them, and what do we do to train our kids to go forward. The best thing that we can do for our kids is to show them. That's the best way to train them, is to show them. And our kids know the struggles that we've had. Our kids know that the sacrifices that we've made, but they know that it stops here as far as the debt and the borrowing and the being out of control. Stops with my wife and I. We're starting a new branch of the family tree, and we're going to start that forever. And we're teaching them. So that's the important thing. Lights went out again. All right. So the important thing as well is that it's not too late to start. You know, a lot of people think, well, I'm 50, I'm 60. It's too late to start investing for me now, or too late to pay off debt now. It's never too late. Colonel Sanders didn't sell a single chicken until he was 67 years old. I think we've all heard of Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? 67 years old. Michelangelo was 72 when he designed the dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. And Grandma Moses painted hundreds and hundreds of paintings after the age of 85. You're not done yet. You're not done till you stand up and say, I'm done, okay? So in closing, I want to stress that it is easy to overestimate what you can do in a year. Okay, I think we've all made wild yearly resolutions. I'm going to lose 300 pounds, and I'm going to pay off $1 billion in debt, and I'm going to go fly a space shuttle, and I'm going to go around the moon, and. We can easily overestimate what we can do in a year, but we can easily underestimate what we can do in 5 or 10 years. Because in 5 years, you can pay off $100,000 in debt. In 10 years, you can pay off your house. Okay? But you can't do it without making those small goals, those little baby steps to kind of get you from point to point along the way. And be intentional about what happens to your money. You know, my wife and I, we were at the point where, we were paying things off, and just if there's a bill, pay it. We could pay bills like crazy. We were good at paying bills. We just weren't getting anywhere. And money was just leaving, and we weren't paying attention to it. Be intentional about your money. Again, it's about helping others out. It's about helping yourselves out for retirement, helping your kids out, helping the grandkids out, helping the church. But you get to call the shots on what happens to your money. Nobody else, okay? And the final thing is, just remember, it's God's money. We're all called to be managers, okay? Yes, we work. Okay, and I've done some 18-hour shifts at the old place. Trust me, I was there working. But God gives us all the talents, gives us all the gifts to be there, okay? He blesses us. It's His money. We are managers. It's okay for us to have nice stuff. It's okay. God doesn't mind that. The nice stuff can't have us, okay? Be intentional about your money. Remember that it's God's money. Work together. That's how you achieve financial peace. Thank you very much.